All right, now, for a further look at the state of the economy, we are being joined by Professor Akpan Ekpo, a professor of economics and public policy at University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, and the chairman of the Foundation for Economic Research and Training in Lagos. Professor, thank you for joining us on the program. Good morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great to have you. Well, what a difference, 1 year can make. At this time last year, the price of Brent was approximately $40 per barrel, but now it's trading at record highs. Fast forward 12 months after, Nigerian economy has recorded, mild growth, about 0.5%. Give us your assessment of the economy so far.
Thank you very much. Let's be honest, the economy has not done well in the last 1 year, even more than that. The economy is still what we call a state of stagflation. Okay? We've exited the recession technically, 0.11, then 0.51 or so, 50. Those are very sluggish recovery. If you put that against other fundamentals, like unemployment rate is very high, at 3.3%. For youth, 40% and rising. Inflation, averagely 20%. For food, even more than that. Productivity is not good enough. Once you have any of those two, you're in a state of stagflation. Okay? So the economy is not doing well. Then when you look at what we call both the discomfort index and the misery index, the misery index I calculated is about 82% or so in Nigeria, meaning that only 18% of Nigerians are living a little bit better. Okay? So you made a point about the oil price that has virtually doubled. But see, the oil price has gone up. We should get more revenue, but we are not buying our oil. Okay? So, and that's why you see the attempt to rejig the foreign exchange market. Oil price has gone up, so you expect that we have more revenue, more foreign exchange, but they're not buying our oil. Okay?
So there's no demand for
oil. Yeah, so they are all kept somewhere. So in terms of what we call economic performance index, we're not doing well. We are scoring about 60%, and you have to score like 80% to be doing well. Okay, the economy is not the way it should be. When you say we are growing at those rates, we exited the recession, we forget that the population growth rate is almost 3%. For you to be growing and say you are doing well, you have to grow either equal population growth rate or you exceed that growth rate. Okay, we are not doing that. Now, even if you are growing at a reasonable rate, it has to be sustainable for about 15 years to have a dent on poverty. We've not been doing that. Okay, even years back when we say 1999 to 2008 or so, we grew about 6%. It was just a jobless growth rate. Okay, so you have to grow double digit, sustain for about 15, 20 years to have a dent on poverty reduction.
But even the president alluded to the issue of security.
Yes.
And he connected it to poverty,
of course, yes.
Unemployment.
Yes.
But we hear a lot of effort. I mean, like in his speech,
yes.
he did a number of efforts by the government,
yes.
Agriculture, boosting manufacture, the textile industry. So what are we missing? Why do we have so much effort and yet still so much poverty and security challenge?
Definitely. In the public policy space, there are a lot of intervention by government, okay, both at the fiscal and monetary side, as the president said. But why are they not bearing the fruits? The outcome is not the same. For several reasons. First, there's a lot of delays, what we call lags, in how government does certain things. Okay, the lag structure, that's one. Secondly, to be honest, generally, Nigerians have lost trust, confidence in government. You need people to drive this process, okay? Thirdly, these things take time. Okay, if you plant a seed today,
it's been 6 years. Is that not
yes?
Enough time?
You asked me 1 year. Okay, 6 years has taken. 6 years is enough time. So when President Buhari came on board, we had thought that if he doesn't change what happened before him, because in fairness, before he came into power, there were already signs of an economy not doing well, stagflation. There was even a recession on the edge. Okay, he came in and we thought things would improve, right? But he cannot turn around in 4 years the mistake of 16 years. But we should see a trend, a positive trend, which we didn't see. And then come the insecurity question became a problem, okay? Then down the line, COVID came in.
Yeah.
But before even COVID, the economy was in stagflation. COVID came to worsen it, okay? And COVID came to worsen it. Then the sharp decline in oil prices, okay, worsened our revenue profile. So when you put all that together, you cannot say the economy did well. Now you're asking, how come it's taking so long? There are several reasons. First, the type of economic system that we are running, okay? We believe in marginalism. These things takes time, gradual improvement, okay? We're not running that system we are running. We're running market capitalism. So when they say they'll be like China, because China moved about 700 million out of poverty, China run a different system, okay? There's a communist party that gives directives. They don't believe too much on the market. When the market works, they allow it. When it doesn't work, they don't allow it. The system here is different. You see, so it takes some time. We are doing what economists call trickle-down effect. That it will trickle down, and it takes time. It takes time. And I believe that in the long run, we're all dead. So people want to see it rapidly, but it takes time. And will it yield the fruit that we know? We don't know. But if people can endure, some people will be part of it. But my argument is that even if you are growing at even 6%, we should not forget that growth is not development. Okay? You can grow and yet you're not developing. Because people don't eat GDP. I don't know whether you get my point. So the president himself, if I remember, even said that the economy is not doing well. I think he alluded to that fact. Okay? Yeah. But there are a lot of policies they put in place. So they have to be more aggressive in trying to implement those policies and then monitor and evaluate how it is being done.
So Prof, when you say they should be more aggressive, I mean, the president outlined that.
Yeah.
Here, we cover some of those events.
Yes,
what do you mean exactly? I mean, in reality, like you said, people don't eat GDP.
Yes.
We hear the other time when inflation figures came out and it was slightly better, people were
Yes.
like, oh, where is it? I can't feel it.
Yes.
So when you
Prices
say
were
more
still high.
aggressive, what exactly do you mean?
What I mean is this, for example, let me give you an example. We have high unemployment, okay? Government said they have created 774,000, is it 774,000
Yes,
jobs?
704, yes,
One
for each
particular
local government
That is
area.
nothing, okay? But being aggressive means that when you're in a crisis like this, okay, it's only government that can build out the system. You employ more people, even if they're not doing anything in the office. You pay
But
them.
government also has the issue of, I mean, income now.
No,
They
yes.
can't pay salary.
Yes.
No, that is part of the problem because we are running, the cost of governance is too high. That's one. Something we call in economics expenditure switching. You look at where items are not of priority and you move them around. We don't do that. For example, Nigeria, and I think they're doing that now, we are the most under-policed country in the world, in our cities. You employ people into the police force, security agencies, that way you are creating jobs, okay? Because private sector will not create jobs in economic profit, no matter the incentive you give them, okay? It is government. Then again, very important, you put in place, it will be long term, a check on population growth. You have to put a check on population growth for a while.
Reminds me of China.
Yes, and you monitor it.
What kind of policies?
After a while, you can, because you see, the rate we are growing, for now, average about 200 million. Definitely, what we have in terms of facilities will not take that 200 million, because the economy is not expanding. So there are a lot of issues. So the first thing is that people have to have trust that government will do ABC. They just have lost trust in governance, okay? So as a government, you pick one thing and say, let me do this and let people trust me. For example, if they can pick just power, okay, and fix power, even if you have power 18 hours a day, not 24 hours, you see a lot of difference. Because research shows that if power supply increases by 1%, GDP will increase by about 3%, okay? You will now generate jobs. The power issue is a big problem for us. The countries we admire, they run 24-hour power system. So factories run 2-3 shifts. So they employ more people. No country develops based on generators. Okay? So just to fix, if you fix power alone, Nigerians will say, oh, this government is serious. Then you now win their confidence. Then they can wait for other things that takes time.
Because power alone has driven a lot of multinationals.
Exactly. They're now located in neighboring countries. So we are losing jobs.
And I think this will also affect the issue of insecurity, because that's
it's security and everything.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
so
that's also
you fix that power, you also self-security. Okay? If you can, I'm just saying 18 hours only, so that companies can run even 2 shifts. You see a marked difference.
All right,
All right.
Prof. Yeah, we'll just take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Do stay with us. It's Business Morning on Channels Television.
All right, you're still watching Business Morning. We still have Professor Akwan Ekpo here, and we're discussing the state of the Nigerian economy. Professor, thank you for staying with us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so one of the speakers in the report we listened to alluded to policy choices and non-clarity in policy as part of the challenges in the country. Do you share this perspective?
Well, partly, but let me say that the policies we have, the government has in place, they are good policies. It's a question of implementation. So, in terms of what's the other issue of what do they call the policy?
The policy clarity.
Clarity.
Yeah.
I think, in my view, maybe because as an economist, the policies look clear to me. For example, take the economic sustainability plan. It's very clear. And that plan, the attempt to implement that plan partially help the technical exit from the recession. Okay? Take the poverty initiative document. It's clear. Because they're done by experts. Okay? But how to now translate that into practice becomes an issue.
So that the average man can actually
in several fronts. Yeah. Okay? Well, I said earlier, we run an economy where we believe so much in the market. Okay? So certain things, even if the executive branch has good policy, it has to clear from the legislature to do certain things. This thing takes time. Okay? No question, some policy matters. If you want the so-called common man to understand, you can have what they call a citizen's guide to those policies so they can understand it. Okay? Not clad them in technical terms, I agree. But what is the policy in terms of giving Nigerians water, light, good education, good health system? The COVID-19 exposed our health infrastructure completely. Okay? Exposed us completely.
And most other countries.
And most other countries. Not the right one about. Yeah. Okay? Yes, most other countries. But a country like Nigeria with our revenue base and expertise, you will expect that somebody will not die in COVID because of oxygen. We had friends who died because there's no oxygen in the hospitals. In a country like this. Okay? That's what, sometimes oxygen in hospital, no oxygen. I don't get my point. So there are a lot. So certain things, policy clarity, fine, but some are just so basic. Okay.
Perhaps one of the things they also mean there, because I remember speaking to the manufacturers at that period, there was a fund allocated for the manufacturers to help them cushion the impact of COVID-19.
Yes, of course.
And they complained of access to
it.
That is, so perhaps it's not just about clarity, but actually the process.
Actually, you made a very good point. There are for example, a lot of intervention by central bank, a lot of intervention, but people complain of access. That's what we should look at. Why are they not getting these funds? A lot of interventions. For example, in our economy, we are talking about creating jobs. The manufacturing sector in Nigeria contributes less than 10% to GDP. For any country to make progress, that sector must contribute at a minimum 35–40% to GDP. We are 10%, the time lower. Okay? And what we call manufacturing, if you look at it closely, is packaging, bottling, and what else? You know. Okay, so there's nothing wrong. You can add value to it, the value chain, but you have to find something you say, this is actually made in Nigeria from start to finish. Okay? So we package, we bottle, we assemble. Okay? So these things have to change. Government has a policy that diversify the economy. Yeah? That they confuse diversifying the GDP from diversifying the economy. They're not the same. Okay? That's why for me personally, each time oil price go up, I panic. Because when it goes up, it's like we relax. Money has come. Oil has destroyed the economy, let's be honest. Because we've not used it well. Other countries that have oil like us, go and see what they've done like Norway. They say we have this oil money. Oil is a wasting asset. We finish one day. So we use oil to build our infrastructure. We use oil to build our educational system, and so on and so forth. So the day oil goes, we know that we've done something. We didn't do that.
So now it's
and
about
we're not
use.
Doing that.
Yeah?
How we're using these funds.
Yes. How do you use it? Okay. So that's why personally, when oil price goes up and say more revenue, I panic because I don't want to go up so that we can be forced to think
to look other way.
To look other way.
Okay, so,
you know,
the Nigeria Central Bank, just like other central banks, they're taking part in trying to stimulate the growth rather than the primary mandate of inflation targeting. How would you say the Nigeria Central Bank has fared in its inflation targeting?
Well, I don't know about whether maybe I'm off. Are they targeting inflation because central bank where they target through monetary aggregates? Okay, I don't think central bank has left its major mandate. It's the nature of the economy. Central bank has, apart from price stability function, they have what we call development functions. Okay, so when the economy is not doing well, they intervene in that user area. And what I like to call is that I like to put all that into what I've captured as unconventional monetary policy. Given the state of our economy, if not for CBN, perhaps it will be worse. Okay? Reverse intervention. What they should do now is find out why people are having access, why they're not having access. They say, okay, give the money, they give the money to banks to on-lend at less than single-digit rate. Find out why they're not getting this money. But they've done their best in terms of what I call unconventional monetary policy. Okay? You know, and given our economy, people think the central bank should do everything. Okay? And they're doing their best. And people forget that central bank is banker to government. So the government says CBN do this, despite their autonomy, they'll be very careful to say no. I'm not holding brief for them, although I used to be in the board some years ago, CBN board. But they've tried, but they should find out why people are complaining about access. You know? Because don't forget that banks are not in banking for charity. When CBN money goes there, it doesn't just lie down there. They use the money to make profit. So that could be part of the problem. I used to wonder how come commercial banks are making profit in the midst of a recession, in the midst of sluggish growth and recovery. Because banks make profit when the economy is doing well.
And individuals are not getting loans. Individuals are not getting loans.
Yes, exactly. So why are they making their money? Because they prefer financing short-term oil contracts and buying financial instruments, which the banks try to curtail. Okay? So with that, they don't. So if you put the money in the bank to on-lend, fine. But find out why are people still complaining. Because CBN is doing its best. I'm not holding brief for them, but in terms of their own part of the economy, in fact, for me, they even go beyond what they should be doing, but it falls within their development functions. So they've not negated the issue of inflation or whatever, because if you look at the NPC meets, and the last time they met, they took correct decisions. Let everything remain the same, and let the fiscal policy do its work. The only thing I think they should have done for me as an economist is that if you look at the anchor rate, the money policy rate, and you remove from that inflation, our real interest rate is negative. Okay? It's negative real interest rate. Meaning that savings, there's inconsistency between savings and investment. So you look at that. What is happening to savings? What rate are you paying? What is the return on savings? If you look at the spread on savings rate, nobody will go and save. But the data confirms the theory that a real interest rate is negative, which means that we should be awash with liquidity, but that's not the case. Yeah. So they look into that. But in terms of what they are doing, I don't think it may not be 100%, but you cannot afford.
All right. But still looking at inflation, the United States inflation rate has hit a 13-year high.
Yes.
About 5%. And, this has raised, concerns in different countries. But how would this affect Nigeria?
It will affect Nigeria because the U.S. is like a benchmark, okay? If rates go up there, they affect you because you have debt in U.S. dollars. And inflation rate will affect those debts. So you pay more. And a lot of times you buy goods from America. So if the prices are higher there, you pay more here. So what we call imported inflation.
So how do we shield against,
It's difficult to shield because you can't be an island. So what you do is that for a country like Nigeria, you build your domestic economy. You make it strong. When it's strong, you can withstand global shock. Why is the entire Europe and the United States worried about China? Because China has built an economy where They decide what they want to do in the world. Look at the G7. What about China?
Yeah.
China is not worried. They've built an economy where they are strong, and you can't do anything to China. I'm not saying everything they do is right, but they've built an economy, and the world agrees that they've moved 700 million out of poverty in a short time. Wow. 700 million is a large number.
That's a huge number.
That 700 million is the one telling the president, you can stay forever. Because they are comparing what they were before and what they are now. So if anybody can move 100 million Nigerians from poverty in 10 years, it will be a major development. If you go, have you been to China? If you go and see the poor, how they live there. So we should build an economy. We have 20 million people. The market is there. This country is so blessed. If you build a strong Nigerian economy, you cannot tell the world what you want to do. Then whether price go up in America or China, or you won't care.
You won't care.
Like Japan is doing or China is doing. You get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have a weak economy that has,
then all those external factors
will now set in, and that make it worse for you.
All right. So
Okay.
let's talk about the issue of issue exchange rate
Yes.
management. Recently, the CBN made moves to convert rates by adopting the NAFEX rate. Where, from your perspective, is the CBN not getting it right when we're talking about
Well,
the
you see,
exchange rate?
I would say the CBN is not getting it right. The CBN has said they're doing a managed float.
Yes.
And that's what they should do, manage it. Because for one good reason, the foreign currency like the dollar is not your money. So when you think you have enough, you don't have enough. And for us, it is dependent on sale of oil. Okay? I said earlier that the oil price has gone up, but people are not buying. So CBN is managed float. So they look at the market and then decide when to intervene. Because if you allow demand and supply to fix the exchange rate, they now become useless. Because anytime demand exceeds supply, the value will go up. So CBN watches the market and then they intervene. Okay? Managed float is the way to go. Okay? The other way to go is to let the economy be diversified through industrialization. If the economy is industrialized, people will be producing, will produce for exports and earn foreign exchange, not exporting crude petroleum. Produce for exports, non-oil goods, and earn foreign exchange. Then the oil becomes irrelevant.
And the world is actually going green.
The world is going
Yes.
green. The world is going green.
Unfortunately, even our trade deficit, we
Exactly.
still have trade deficits
Yeah.
that was released just
Exactly.
recently.
So there's slight improvement in non-oil export, but it's very
it's
marginal.
very marginal.
So that's how you get it. In my own, we are economists and we have different tendencies. Okay, some of us, someone like me, I don't want to be arrogant, but I'm an economist because I have degrees in the 3 degrees in that area. I don't believe that the market can determine the exchange rate for a country like Nigeria. That's why I support the CBN's managed float. I said the dollar is not your money. So when the CBN even says they have dollar to finance imports for 6 months, it's provisional. If the oil prices drop, we're in trouble. But the country where when oil prices go up, more money we spend more. When it comes down, we borrow to spend. So, and this regime tries to change that. That's why partly they're unpopular.
Yeah.
Try to change that trajectory. So the Nigerian economy is not doing well, not because of the average Nigerian, let me say that, because the elites who have captured the state use that in their interests and that of their families. That's the bottom line.
All right, thank you
Bottom
so
line,
much,
yeah.
Prof. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us
Thank you
on
very
the
much.
state of Nigeria's economy on
Thank
this
you.
Democracy Day.
to have you.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of your day. Professor Akpaniko is Professor of Economics and Public Policy at the University of Uyo in Akwa Ibom State.